Muy buenas tardes. I feel like home. I was walking around. There's as many countries in here as there is in the General Assembly Hall that is going to start next week in New York. So this is a different subject, a different crowd, very familiar in the bringing together the word as we do it in the United Nations. Dr. Chu, Sergio, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here in Cartagena with its century-old walls and modern skyline. Cartagena is a city where history meets progress. And just as the city bridges the past and the future, we are here to bridge the gap between ambition and action, between the global goals we've set and the concrete steps needed to achieve them. This brings us to a significant moment in our shared journey. As Sergio mentioned, we started in Geneva. ISO's annual meeting today coincides with the launch of the ISO UNDP Guidelines for the Sustainable Development Goals, the first major outcome of our strategic partnership. However, it isn't just about launching new guidelines, which will lead to a set of standards. It's about charting a course towards the future, where sustainable development is no longer just an aspiration, but a way to realize the hope inherited on the SDGs. Let's take a moment to reflect on the path that brought us here. In 2015, all your countries came together to adopt the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It was an ambitious plan, yet to date, less than 17% of the targets set under the SDGs are on track to be achieved globally by 2030. This stark reality is a call for urgent and intensified action. As the stewards of the SDGs, the United Nations Development Programme recognized from the start that achieving them would require more than just government action. It would demand a new level of collaboration, innovation, and commitment from every sector of society. And on that, UNDP is open for partnerships to drive sustainable development like the strategic partnership we established with you, the ISO. Now, almost a decade later, we find ourselves at a critical juncture. We're also facing challenges unlikely any we've seen before. For instance, the effects of climate change are here, shaking the foundations of our daily life and economies. Every hour, global economy loses $16 million to climate impact. Let them think. Every hour, $16 million wiped out of the economy. Climate change is just one issue of a larger web of challenges, including rising inequality and global pandemic touching every corner of our world. These crises have made one thing clear. We are interconnected than ever before. And in this interconnected world, the only way forward is together. That is where our partnership becomes so vital, embodying the very essence of SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals, by combining the ISO's expertise in setting global standards with UNDP's deep knowledge of development and country-level challenges, as well as our influence with governments and stakeholders. We've created something truly powerful, groundbreaking guidelines, the first ever explicitly aligned with the SDGs. They represent a key step forward in embedding sustainable development into the DNA of global business operations. When organizations weave compliance and reporting into a broader sustainability and impact management framework, they don't just tick boxes. They unlock opportunities, they manage the impacts more effectively, and they drive meaningful change. This approach goes beyond simply meeting obligations. It empowers organizations to rise above them. It fosters a strategic, proactive, and holistic vision of sustainability, one that benefits both the organizations and the world we share. We trust that these guidelines will set a new benchmark, leading to the development of future ISO UNDP management standards that align with the SDGs. building on the foundations of UNDP's impact work and the relevant ISO standards. While recent standards, like those developed by the International Sustainability Standard Board, focus on providing a global baseline for sustainability disclosure, our guidelines complete these efforts by focus on how business organize and operate. Management standards lead to better disclosures, and that is unquestionable. Together, these approaches ensure that sustainability is not only reported, but are also deeply integrated into every aspect of business strategy and execution. Moreover, these standards will serve as a robust foundation for documenting progress and providing assurance to key stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, this is just the start of what I hope will be a ripple effect driving sustainability across all sectors. Imagine the impact. Really, just close your eyes and imagine the impact if every organization, from a small business to multinational, used those guidelines to shape their strategies and operation. It's about fundamentally reshaping business, investments, and how we measure success. Now, this brings me to a critical point. Why do we even need to do this? Because the role of private sector and private finance in achieving the SDGs is essential. To close the global finance gap and realize the goals, over $4 trillion are needed every year between now and 2030. That's a lot of money. Is it? It's actually only 1% of global wealth. 1% of global wealth delivers us reduce inequality, manage climate crisis, end of poverty, good health, good education, gender equality. Gender equality alone, SDG 5, will raise global GDP by 2.6%. One goal. This is where the ISO and UNDP guidelines play a crucial role. By providing clear, actionable guidelines, we are creating a common language for sustainability that speaks directly to investors, business, and financial institutions. This shared framework lays the groundwork for increased private capital flows towards sustainable projects and initiatives, offering the private sector a competitive advantage necessary for survival in the world that is coming. Consider this. When investors have a clear framework for assessing the sustainability impact of the investment, it becomes easier to direct capital towards projects that not only offer financial returns, but also contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals. When businesses have a roadmap for integrating sustainability into their cooperation, it becomes possible to create long-term value while addressing global challenges. So what kind of world do we want? One where sustainability is an afterthought, or one where it is the foundation of everything we do? I know which one I want. I got teenagers at home. These guidelines challenge us to choose the latter. They ask us to rethink, to reimagine, to reshape our future. To do so, we need to clearly articulate to the private sector that profitability and sustainability are not mutually exclusive. The private sector needs to make profit, which is essential for achieving the SDGs. And embracing sustainability is the key to ensuring long-term profitability in a rapidly changing world. In a world where consumers and investors are increasingly demanding sustainable practice, where talent, the workforce of the future, especially Generation Z, chooses to work for companies that take sustainability seriously, aligning with SDGs is not just the right thing to do, it's the smart business thing to do. The market is moving in this direction, and the companies that embrace this vision will thrive, while those that don't will be left behind. If we want a world where business can flourish, sustainability must be at the core of operations. As we move forward, let's not underestimate the challenges. Implementing these guidelines will require efforts, resources, and a desire to change. There will be obstacles, particularly as we confront greenwashing. For instance, a recent European Commission study found that nearly 40% of sustainability claims made by companies could be misleading, undermining trust and slowing real progress to all companies. But remember why we are doing this. Remember the world we are trying to create. A world where valuing people and planet is at par with profit. A world where sustainability and long-term profitability go hand in hand. Simply put, a world of greater prosperity for all. Before I conclude, let me just say this. When we leave Cartagena, we will carry with us not just the guidelines, but a renewed sense of shared purpose. We've made a strong start, and now it's time to build on this foundation. To ISO, I extend our deepest gratitude for your partnership. You welcomed UNDP, you welcomed us as a partner to do something groundbreaking. Our journey is reaching an exciting new phase, the beginning of our most impactful work yet. The real work starts now, and it starts with each one of us committed to the partnership and to our common goals. Together, let's keep the momentum and transform these guidelines into global action and swiftly advance to the next phase of partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, every collective action counts. Every shared choice matters. Every step we take together builds a better world. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.